Good morning, Rotarians. Thank you for joining us. This club meeting is called to order. Very shortly, I'll be sharing my screen and leading us through another fun presentation to direct the conversation. Periodically, I'll bring that screen share down so we can see each other's beautiful and friendly faces and have more dialogue. Family and friends are always welcome to attend our club meetings, so don't hesitate to invite someone like that Olympic yodeler that just moved into town. Feel free to speak out as you would in an in-person meeting, but if you're not using your microphone, please put yourself on mute, or maybe I'll do it at the cost of a club fine. And at that, we begin. All right. Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Fortuna Sunrise Rotary Club meeting for March 10th, 2021, volume 36 of my presidential year. We have an amazing Rotary Club, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it. And at this time, we'll do introductions of guests. We've got Andy Barnett from Garberville Rotary, and he's going to be our speaker today. Thanks for joining us, Andy.
You betcha. Thanks for having me.
And let's see, Carrie, it looks like you've got a guest with you. Who do you got with you?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Waylon. You guys probably haven't seen Waylon in a while, but a lot of you guys remember when I was pregnant with Waylon. It's been a long time, though. He's almost 9.
Oh. Thanks so much for joining our meeting. Everybody's waving their fingers. That's them clapping for you. So thanks for being here. Okay, well, awesome. And everybody else is fantastic. Thanks for being a member of the Fortuna Sunrise Rotary Club. Let's see. So at this time, we typically be doing the flag salute, but since it's a virtual meeting and, you know, we're all just seated here and it's hard to speak in unison, why not a little bit of American history lesson? So it's kind of an interesting one. On this day, 2012, Coke and Pepsi both altered their formulas slightly to avoid having to place cancer warnings on the labels of their bottles. Yeah. The companies changed the way that they made their caramel coloring in their drinks by adding less of the 4-MEI, which is the carcinogen that was in question. The formula had already been changed in the United States, or the US state of California. Hey, California, because we got a little higher regulations here, but now changed for the rest of the United States. And that was on this day in 2012. And our inspirational message this morning will be Dawn Jewett. Dawn.
You must have left the meeting.
Maybe.
Good morning, everyone. I just said that, but I had myself muted. Foolish me. So I have two inspirations that I hope will go together well. One is from John Meekum, the historian, who wrote this from his book, The Soul of a Nation. Fear feeds anxiety and produces anger and insecurity. Hope breeds optimism and feelings of well-being. Fear is about limits. Hope is about growth. Fear casts its eyes warily, even shiftily, across the landscape. Hope looks forward to the horizon. Fear points at others, assigns blame. Hope points ahead, works for a common good. Fear pushes away. Hope pulls others closer. And then the second inspiration is from Franklin D. Roosevelt. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Let us move forward with strong and active faith.
Thank you so much, Don. That's an A+ there. Look at that guy. Brings 2. All right, let's see here. How about Penny Frigeau? Would you be willing to do the 4-way test for us this morning?
Yes, sir. The 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Yeah, awesome. Great job. Thank you, Penny. Okay. And Let's see, big announcements. We've got our district training assembly. That's April 16th and 17th. It's now free. All you have to do is register. Great way to get to know more about Rotary, develop connections within the district, all that good stuff, and much, much more. Or if there's anything you're unclear about, or maybe you're really clear about something and you want to be there and just be a part of the conversation on what's happening at a district level, which will in turn affect our clubs. Really good thing to go and just be a part of the conversations. District Training Assembly, April 16th and 17th. And once again, our major fundraiser is on the horizon. I planned on this meeting having some ideas to bring to the table, and we're just kind of going over last little minute details before we present it. So next week, expect a short presentation on what we're thinking, and then also asking the entire club to start thinking about taking on some roles within this fundraiser. So exciting, it's coming up. We'll get ready. And backpacks. This is our partnership with Food for People, where we get food in the hands of people with food insecurities over the weekend. So it's a cool program with our local grammar schools. This week we've got Buster and Lori Garrison, as well as Jeannie and Kurt Weiss. And next week, Debbie and Jim Scave, as well as Dawn and Sue Finch. And any other backpack announcements while we're there? Are we good? Golden? Okay. Let's see here. Any club members have any just general announcements, things going on that they'd like to bring to the table while we're on the theme of that? Oh, Frank Ramos, and I see Kurt. So two people.
Hey, I just wanted to pass along a message. Alice Rubiani, our exchange student from Italy from last year, contacted me, and she just wanted me to say a general hello to everybody. Says she was thinking about everybody, misses it. Being with, being here in the States, being in Fortuna, and she's really busy with high school, but I sent her the link to the Zoom meeting and she's going to try to pop in one at some time. But she just wanted me to say hello to everybody.
Awesome. Hi, Alice.
I got something.
Kurt, what's up, man?
Well, I was last week on Wednesday. My wife, let me back up a little bit. My wife and I purchased a new RV recently, and we wanted to go check it out. So we went down to Benbow last week, and I got in on the meeting. Sorry I was late, but it was really cool because we were down there. We went for a walk, and we went over to the park across the freeway, and there's like a dance floor thing there. And it was built by the Garberville Rotary. It's appropriate that Andrew's here today. And there's a plaque and everything. I took a picture of it. I'll show it to you guys. And then also the people camping next to us were from Reno, and she was in Rotary, and she was heavily involved in student exchange. And we had a long conversation. It was fun. So I did all that on Wednesday. So it was a Rotary kind of day, and I wasn't even home.
Outstanding.
Kurt, you will get one free pass for attending meetings just for that.
Oh, good. Thank you.
How cool. So, but wait, I hate to do this. Well, no, I love to do that.
Yeah, I expect this to cost me a little something.
Yeah, a new RV. I mean, that's a finable offense right there. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, I don't have any money left since I bought the RV.
And you're already in the Century Club.
Well, you know what, Kurt, that's a fantastic segue to maybe finding another member that's low on the Century Club scale there. Anybody, Ross, can you, I don't know, maybe throw a couple people under the bus that are low?
Well, sure. Don Jewett is $5 away. Aaron Dunn is $3 away.
Wow.
Chris Broadstock is $15 away. Greg Barktle is a long way away.
Oh.
I'd like to save my $3 for later.
Okay.
I thought my case was a technicality.
Yeah, TKO. That's right. Kurt, anybody on that list?
Sounds like Greg needs some help.
Dr. Greg, even by technicality, looks like we're hitting you with something. What do we want to give him? $5?
Well, he bought one RV, so that'll $1 per RV.
Okay, well, let's do $1 per wheel. There's probably 4 wheels on that thing and a spare, so $5.
It has 6 wheels and a spare.
6 wheels and okay, $7. There we go.
All right. Okay, that's fair.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Anybody else have any announcements they'd like to make? All right.
I do, Simon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, please.
So we have double celebration in our house today as our babies turn 18. So we have no more minors in the house.
Wow. Twinning is winning, huh?
18.
18. 2 18.
18, both of them.
Any special plans?
Well, we can't announce anything because of, the whole COVID thing. So.
Oh, okay. There's special plans. We'll just keep it under wraps. Secret.
They're all small plans, but we'll make it special. So yeah, for 18 times 2, so I guess that's worth $36.
Wow.
Oh man.
Hot dog. I love that. How close does that put Heather up there? She must be getting close.
I think I'm pretty far away.
No, that would bring her up to $76.
Okay, getting close.
Getting close. Still got to the end of the year.
Well, I've got a couple of things planned in the near future, Heather. So don't worry, we'll get you there.
Thanks.
Thank you, and congratulations. As a parent of a couple of older, 20-year-olds now, it's really nice, It's really nice having adult kids. All right, well, on to the next thing, shall we? So, being an art educator, a theme of my year has been talking about art every week. And since we got Andy coming here talking about the environment, I thought, why not share an artist named Andy that uses the environment as their medium? So we're going to look at the work of Andy Goldsworthy. Andy Goldsworthy. Where am I? Okay. So Andy Goldsworthy is a British artist who's known for site-specific installations involving natural materials and the passage of time. Working as both a sculptor and photographer, Goldsworthy crafts his installations out of rocks, ice, leaves, or branches, cognizant that the landscape will change, then carefully documents the ephemeral collaborations with nature through photography. He studied fine art and received a BA from the University of Central Lancashire. And from the age of 13, he worked on farms as a laborer. So he likened his repetitive quality of farm tasks to the routine of making a sculpture. And when there's a famous quote where he said, a lot of my work is like picking potatoes. You just have to get into the rhythm of it. And here we've got some fantastic pieces of sticks kind of forming this circular shape and branching out there, and you see kind of 2 different riffs on that, left and top right. The top right one is built in the water, so you're getting this reflection in on the surface of the water there. It's just breathtaking. And then taking all those curved sticks and making rings, kind of almost suggesting ripples in the water, in the rocks in a small little creek bed there. Just really fabulous stuff. And I love the impermanence of his art, right? Let's keep going, shall we? So land art is kind of what he's categorized under, and the materials that's used in Andy Goldsworthy's art often include brightly colored flowers, icicles, leaves, mud, pine cones, snow, stone, twigs, thorns. And he's quoted on saying, "I think it's incredibly brave to be working with flowers, leaves, and petals. But I can't edit the materials I work with. My remit is to work with nature as a whole." Photography plays a crucial role in his art due to its often ephemeral and transient state. According to Goldsworthy, each work grows, stays, decays, integral parts of a cycle, which the photograph shows at its heights, making that moment when the work is most alive. There's an intensity about a work at its peak that I hope is expressed in the image. Process and decay are implicit. And so here we've got some gorgeous leaf art left and right. You're also seeing a piece on my virtual background here. I love how he fades the colors and creates these gradients, right? gradations of colors from dark brown in the upper right, dark brown all the way to yellow, like working in these warm earth tones. And then you've got this green, yellow to red fade there in the bottom left, just really, really gorgeous there. And then those river stones there going from a bright white, maybe something close to a body of water where like moss like dried on them is my guess on what made that whitish color. And then maybe going out to darker stones that are more volcanic in nature or something like that. And this is just my guess. I'm by no means environmental scientist guy. So, and then, you know, after I show some of the stuff, I always call on a Rotarian to take a deeper dive, tell me a little bit about it in their own words. So I'm going to call on Steve Garrison this morning. Steve, you there?
Off to a rocky start.
Off to a rocky start. That's puns worth something there. So I'll give you a little hint on this. So maybe it'll influence the way that you interpret. This is a piece by Andy Goldsworthy here. It's called Drawn Stones, and it is located in San Francisco. I won't tell you exactly where, but it is a famous location where arts are in San Francisco. And tell us a little bit in your own words, critique, interpret, discuss, talk about the type of media. Drawn Stones by Andy Goldsworthy.
Well, you don't need to withhold the location in San Francisco because I wouldn't have a clue.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Well, it's stones, big stones on little stones. Very monochromatic. It certainly does look like there's a museum somewhere because there's little stanchions guiding people around. I guess it's around the work of art. And the whole room is the work of art, the whole floor. So yeah, it's just slabs of stone that have been quarried out or broken out of a quarry somewhere. A little glass in the picture. That's all I got, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Fantastic. Thanks so much, Steve. So I know you look at all the colorful leaf pieces of this, and then I gave you blocks of rock here in a little courtyard. And you're right. It is a museum. It's the DeYoung Museum. And if you've never been there in San Francisco, great little couple hour trip. I mean, if you're really into arts, you could spend a day there, but it's got a fantastic view of the city. They have a like all glass top lookout building. It's really high up, just gorgeous. But they commissioned Andy Goldsworthy to do this space. And the cool thing about it is that it's utilitarian in nature. People walk through, sit on these rocks, right? It's a place to hang out. And there's something just fabulous about it when you come out, that it's not just a bunch of benches, right? It's these massive rocks that were cut out and broken, like you mentioned, and then thrown on top of these other stones. If you look really closely on the groundwork there, it might be hard on your screens, there's actually small cracks, and he took a hammer and actually broke the bricks of the ground. And this was to speak of San Francisco's frequent earthquakes and the effects of those earthquakes, right? So he was looking at the seismic activity of the town of San Francisco and putting that into his art. And he wanted to have that unpredictable nature, right? You know, as earthquakes are, nature is, it's unpredictable in a lot of ways. So that, you know, there was no exact cutting with those cracks in the brick there. He just hammered those things out. Wow. Okay, Steve, I think I'm going to give you a $10 fine because there was a rock pun in there that I don't know. What do you think, Ross? Do you approve of that rock pun?
Well, granted, he's not an art critic, but he did have to start from a clean slate.
Oh.
Steve, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yeah, 10's fine.
10's fine. All right. Well, you rock, my friend. Thank you.
Simon, I think the most interesting thing about the piece is the undersurface of these rocks. So like the outside looks like it's someone drilled holes and put dynamite in there and fractured it and it's all rough.
Uh-huh.
But look, they're sitting perfectly on the ground. Like that must have taken a ton of work to get those things flat.
Yes, yes. And that is at the base, I think, of all of Goldsworthy's work, is like there's a lot of time and thought that goes into it. You might look at this, you know, maybe untrained eye, you walk in there and you're like, okay, big rocks on the ground, whatever, right? But there's a lot of thought that goes into his work, and it's really, really cool. I mean, and when you have time like that, you have nothing but time to think about the application of it, right? When you're spending hours and hours on it. So yeah,
Actually,
really
you use either a very large diamond saw blade, or you use a diamond coated wire to cut those slabs right out of the quarry. That's how you do it. That was my business.
There you go. Well, it's fitting that I called you on you. What about there's also like these I don't know, there's like a couple of like chacked lines there. That's from some kind of drill, like the rock at the left there.
Yeah, that's a drill. They just drill into the rock and weaken the plane and put a hydraulic press in there and pop the rock loose from its structure. And then they take it to the quarry shop and cut it with diamond tools, wire or blades.
Wow. Wow. Process. I love it. I love it. Thanks so much.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Any other comments?
Yeah, I think that, you know, although these look like really superb still lifes, they're very dynamic in the sense that they all talk about change. The cracks in the small stones that he's hammered in there, you know, could be from the weight of the bigger rocks on the little rocks. And the same way with the three little leaf patterns and things that you showed to start with, the hole in the center of those is a place for those rocks to fall through. And you've got some burning around the leaf there on the left, and the bright sun on the far right with a steep slope there. So they're all showing the potential, you know, for tremendous change in these structures. In the same way with the stones in the museum, although they're still life at a glance, they're very, very dynamic and celebrating the ongoing change in nature and the deterioration, as in the poem about Ozymandias, the Sphinx falling apart out in the middle of the desert over time.
Yeah. Wow. How cool. How cool. You know what? Since we started doing this, I must say the club is really getting into this talking about art thing. It makes me so happy, you guys. Thank you. Let's see. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We'll almost turn it over our program. I got one or two things left here. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure everybody. Yep. Okay. Cool. We're good. All right. So weekly recognition. Each week I'm recognizing club members for being outstanding, or maybe I'm playing silly games with them, and so I'm going to continue doing that all the way till the end. So you just got a couple more months of this. Who's going to be featured this week, huh? So this week I'm kind of on the theme of TV and movies. You know, I've been watching you know, just a little bit of TV to unwind at night, and I came across this TV show. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Breaking Bad, but they had a prequel to it that you might have heard of. I know I'm getting to it a little late, but just think it's really cool. And it's called, anybody's ever seen it before, Better Call Saul. Anybody ever watch that? Sal Kenichi, what do you got to say for yourself? Have you seen this show? It's about a lawyer that's in like environmental science, goes out. No, not familiar.
Of course, I'm aware of it. I think it was you know, offshoot of Breaking Bad, perhaps. And so I used to kind of hear about it, but no, I don't know anything about it. I'm not involved in the legal realm, but I like the hair.
Yeah, look at that hair, huh?
A lot of hair. It's dark. Maybe a ponytail in the back.
Possibly. Yeah, business in the front, party in the rear. Well, Sal, I had to get, you know, I had to do something that wasn't a spotted owl. So what do you think? Better Call Saul. The original show is called Better Call Saul, but
I'm willing to pay $10 just to get that off the screen.
Okay, okay, that sounds fantastic. $10 to Sal. Thank you so much. Is he in the Century Club there, Ross? I didn't see that hand
But
motion.
Ross should be fined for being on mute there.
Yeah,
He is, no, that would just give him 75. So he's,
Okay.
he's quite lacking.
We've still got some time to go. Okay, well, hey, I've got one more of these. Why not? So anybody like vampire movies? Maybe Dracula. What's another popular one? Lost Boys. It's got that awesome saxophone player at the beginning. But the younger kids these days are really into this these twinkly vampires, right? I don't know if you're familiar with that. They sparkle in the sunlight. I watched this movie the other night. It was called The Twilight Saga. Dawn Watkins. What do you think about that, Dawn? I just can't stop.
Well, I like the hair, just like Sal said. I'd rather have that hair than like this. I'm not quite sure how I feel about being called a vampire, but I will always be happy to be called Twinkly. So that's hilarious.
Well, you definitely don't suck, Dawn. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh, is it the truth? I think that I should probably just keep that to myself.
Okay.
So
Okay. I like
we're
it.
gonna keep that to myself. Better to not know certain things. I think I'm in the Century Club, so
yeah. You are. Ross is giving me the thumbs up. So hey, I'm going to bring down the screen share so we don't have to look at your altered vampire ego there.
Yeah.
Who are you
I
going
feel so seen. I feel so seen right now. Thank you for that.
Who are you going to pass it along to? Because you've got that opportunity now that you're.
I do. Let's see. Let's see the number. My favorite number would be 666. So who's closest to 6 right now?
Let's see.
Ooh, we took a turn for the dark side with this vampire.
Well, Angela's at 5'5", and that's close to 6'6".
Okay, 5'5".
Okay, that's like the neighbor of the vampire. So we'll just go with that one.
The neighbor of the vampire. Angela Johnson, incoming president. You've only got a couple more months to get fines, but you're getting hit. How about $10?
Sounds great.
Oh my God, that was great.
Oh goodness. Okay, a little bit of
Or
fun.
do you make it 11 to get to the 6-6?
Ooh. I'll let you decide. Do you want to
Now
go?
we're talking.
Hey, let's just go 11. Let's go 11. Yeah, I like it. All right, so I'm going to pass it over to our program chair, Erin Dunn, to introduce this week's program. Erin.
Thank you. Thank you, President Simon. My pleasure to introduce this morning Andy Barnett. He is a past president of Garberville Rotary and an advocate for environmental beautification and preservation. While he was president, he was one of the ones who spearheaded the going down to was it the Mattole, Andy? You can just shake your head. Yeah. And to do some cleanup down there. And I know several of our club members did that. He was behind the organization of Humboldt. What's his first name? Von Humboldt, but what's his first name? Week? Was it a week or a month? Yeah.
It was a day.
A day.
It was a day.
Yeah, it was a day, but it was incredible. And he pulled in people from all over the county to celebrate Von Humboldt Day. And he's going to talk with us today about a new area of focus that Rotary started, I don't know, I can't remember, is this year or last year, which includes the environment. So Andy, it's all yours. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, folks. I'm excited to get your input and feelings about the new area of focus. I have a presentation and we can get to the slides and put all of us on another Zoom hill to climb. But I actually thought this morning that your club is so animated and active and interested in the arts and all these wonderful things, that I'd like to kind of do a more interactive thing and get your feelings about the new area of focus. And if you want some more information about it, I can definitely share that. But I also like to know more about how individuals and the clubs feel about their personal relationship with the earth and activities that the club has taken on in the past, and perhaps visioning for the future in this realm. So the first thing I'd like to do is just ask you guys, do you guys know about the new area of focus? Do you know what it is? Have you heard about it? Have you talked about it?
It's been a new introduction to us this year. Several members have brought it up as we've been going along. Andy, when was it brought in? Was it brought in July of the previous year, 2020?
Something like that. I think the actual official declaration was around July. It has quite a long background, actually. The first element, or the first declaration of Rotary being concerned about the natural world, was in 1990 by a president called Paulo Costa from Brazil. And there was a lot of transition in the Rotary administration and policy making at that time. And it was declared as a goal, but it wasn't really codified until just recently. The last 4 international presidents have made the environmental projects a priority. And then through that activity, they looked at all the areas of focus and they realized, well, heck, we've spent $18 million over the last 5 years on what can very well be termed environmental projects. And plus, with global warming, climate change, all the catastrophes that had happened in the world environmentally, they realized that caring for the earth is caring for people. And so they declared the new area of focus, protecting the environment, just this last year. So is there any other knowledge or feedback about this new area from club members?
Andy, is the new area, this is Don Jewett, is the new area of focus is the environment. What are the goals of, what are we trying to do with the environment? How are we trying to improve? Is there like a main area of focus? Is reducing carbon emissions part of the idea of the environment, caring for the environment, or are there other aspects of that?
This is the big quandary and question and challenge, to tell you the truth, guys. The environment is the world, right? And of course, the world has a huge variety of challenges and problems and solutions and opportunities. And so the Rotary policy now that was just published the last couple of months outlines 12 different areas, 12 different project areas. Again, these areas of focus are built to allow clubs to do international projects. Individual clubs, like the Garberville Club did with your folks' cooperation, can do anything they want as far as environmental ideas. I did the Planet Humboldt conference. I also did fire reduction days with fire safety and CAL FIRE experts and forestry experts. So each club can do whatever they want, but the areas of focus are set up to allow for global grants. So with the new area of focus, there's 12 areas, and they run the gamut from watershed restoration to empowering women for environmental action, like say training women for solar installations. It runs the gamut to women's education, wetlands. Also, one area that's really kind of different and really exciting to me is that within these guidelines that you can find on the Rotary International webpage. They actually say that advocacy and education around the environment is part of this area of focus, and that grants can be designed for that specific purpose. And I think that is like probably the most maybe controversial, but also the highest opportunity for Rotary, the Rotary network, to actually make change in the world. Because Rotary has such an incredible brand and such an incredible power when you just say, I'm a Rotarian, I'm a district governor, I'm an assistant governor, I'm an active Rotarian, I've been in Rotary for 30 years. I'm sure many members of your club realize that when you bring that calling card, people listen. And with the environment, it's very important for that advocacy to be expressed for caring for people and the places we love and the planet, because the changes are going to happen from the top quickly to make any real difference. So if you want to get a clearer idea of what the Rotary policy is on the new area of focus, go to the website and take a little time. I've done this a lot with my collaborations around the district and around the world, and I can speak with confidence from my months of research that there are 4 areas within that 12 topic areas that you can summarize the whole new area of focus. And it's the energy sector, how we make and use energy, the agricultural sector, how we grow our food and how much food is wasted and how much energy is wasted in the way we grow our food, equity problems, because when people are educated and people have opportunities for developing their own economies, they tend to take care of the environment, have fewer kids, have less impact, and the impact that is there is shared instead of shunted off into the less advantaged. So equity is a big part of the new area of focus. And then the 4th one, oh no, I'm doing my Rick Perry moment. Let's see, it's energy, equity, food, and of course, habitat, biodiversity, restoration, forestry, all those things that involve what people would normally call the environment. And all the different projects can be easily fit into those in those 4 areas. So that's basically the new area of focus. And I'm really curious to know what your club and your club members feel about how you can individually take action and how your club might take action in any one of those 4 areas: agriculture, energy, equity, and habitat. Any thoughts?
I have a quick thought, Andy. As we listened to Holger Knack, the RI president at the Arcata Sunrise meeting the other day, he noted that in the United States, we tend to generate our projects towards our communities. Whereas in Europe and Scandinavia and places like that, the government takes care of that for them. So they tend to be leaning towards a more international bent. But in the United States, as we are in our club, we tend to gear our projects locally to benefit our communities. And we have done environmental projects in the past. We've got quite a long little legacy, and Scott Downey has led those. So someone like Scott could probably speak more to it. But that's the idea of going towards a more local idea. Any thoughts there?
Exactly. The model that I've been working on and have been promoting through the district, just a little sidebar here. Do you guys know at all about SRAG, the Environmental Sustainable Rotary Action Group? Does anybody know about that? Raise your hand and wave. I don't see any waving hands. Okay, that's one thing that's totally exciting. The SRAG is Rotary's largest action group. We have over 1,000 members worldwide. International connections just flying around. It's really exciting. The Big West chapter, which is the Western United States and Hawaii, has the most members, 250 members and growing. And through that network, we're realizing that this connection between local action, like you're talking about, Ross, on the club level, can move out into the community. And then through networking, through SRAG and through Rotary International, we can connect up on that global level that President Knapp was talking about. The model, what I'm saying, is person, place, and planet. You're right, local clubs really focus on local action. The idea of moving that into this new area of focus is to do projects that get individual people connected somehow with the earth that serves them, scale that out to more and more clubs doing the same thing on the local level, networking that together through websites, through linkages like SRAG and Rotary International, where that knowledge can be shared and that spirit of community and service can be generated on a global level. Then the advocacy kicks in. And I can talk about 3 projects that totally exemplify how service to people can be scaled up and generated out in this new area to have effect globally and also at that policy level and support. I'm curious about your local clubs. Mr. Downing, what was that about? Can you explain a little bit about what that action was?
Mr. Downing. I'm not normally called that in this particular group. And
well, I just forgot your first name, so please forgive me.
Oh, it's Scott. It's written on that.
Scott, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, we did. We have an ongoing thing actually with the city of Fortuna, the CCC, which has their center here for this part of the world, and volunteers, and also the folks from the con camp down at High Rock. And we've all participated in working on a little stream here called Rotor Creek, which the city of Fortuna is really, they landed quite a large grant to fix a whole section of that stream in behind the high school over to 12th Street that you come into town on and bordered by Main Street, and did, heavy construction to make it happen. But on through the park is where we focused, and there were problems there with supervision by park personnel over some of the occurrences that were happening down alongside the creek, which was overgrown with vegetation and invasive species. And so it's kind of a built-in project because it keeps growing back. But we've got so many people that are participating in that over the last 10-year period that you have to nearly stand in line to go in down there to do a project, because you can only do them certain times of year when the water is low and the fish aren't there and so forth. But it's been quite good. We've done some projects there where we barbecued along with it and had all those different agencies and volunteers working together, and it's been quite effective. And your idea then, Andy, to expand it on into the suffering of the island Earth itself is the natural progression. And with our president, international president now leading the charge with his values, it's really encouraging to see Rotary, raising our skirts, if you will. So good work.
That's exciting, and this is a perfect example of how the Rotary network can really work in this regard. Because, frankly, Scott, what you guys are doing there is what's happening all around the world right now. Salvador Rico, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's from the South Ukiah Club, and he has spurred a International River Cleanup Day that is coming up on March 21st. And our club has been helping out with the Eel River cleanup. We have a crew here in Garberville that's been cleaning up the Eel River for the last 3 years, twice a week, tons of garbage every month. And you're working to restore that section of Roanoke Creek. So, and Sal's working on the Russian River, and he has networks around the world, all the way from the Mississippi to the Ganges that have been doing this. And the idea is that the more we talk to each other and realize that we're all working on the same earth-oriented projects and progress for our local communities, the more we realize that we're working in the same spirit. We've got our hands doing the same thing. And the challenge now in this new area is to link all that up through communications, effective aggregation of data, connections between people, and then take that Rotary momentum and go to an interior secretary in Uganda, or a legislator, or an industry leader, and say, look, we have 15,000 Rotarians. Here they are. Here's the data. We're all working together to do this. Get on the bandwagon, help your people, help the planet like we are, and use that Rotary brand to motivate change from the top. That's where things are going to really happen fast. So this is exciting to me. One project that we're doing here in Garberville, actually inspired by Cooperation Humboldt in your part of the county, is we're building tiny gardens for families that don't have garden space. We're going to put in 25 tiny gardens in April. And then all those people and all those families have their chance to get their hands in the dirt and raise their own food. From there, we're going to build teams to go out and do restoration work. And then we're going to link up those teams through a sister club relationship with other clubs in South America and Africa to make that world connection. So we're taking the people action out into the community to help the environment, and then link that up internationally to show that connection worldwide. And there's lots of projects like that in those 4 areas I'm talking about. How much time do I got left? I don't know. Blah, blah, forever. Simon.
And Andrew, I have a concern about how agriculture is portrayed as we look at the challenge of climate change.
Good.
If you remove fossil fuel, which we are working on at every level, particularly for transportation, for heating, for power generation, I think it's pretty obvious that agriculture is pretty much carbon neutral. It generates greenhouse gases and it sequesters and withdraws greenhouse gases. But the perception out there is not that. Bill Gates who's a huge influencer, was quoted before he published his book. Thankfully, he left it out. But he was quoted as saying that if cattle were a country, they would be the 3rd largest generator of greenhouse gases. when in fact they too are carbon neutral. They generate methane, which degrades to carbon dioxide, and they consume plants, which have sequestered the carbon dioxide. And so you've got the agricultural sector who's very skeptical about climate change because they can see that the science is very incomplete at this point. And granted, there can be some exceptions. When you burn tropical forests, there's a huge change in the whole dynamic. But I'm very concerned about the way agriculture is portrayed. And I think it's damaging to the cause of making the changes that we need to make.
I totally agree with what you're saying in terms of the unsettled science. There was a very influential movie that came out. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but it's called Touch the Ground, or Kiss the Ground, I think. I'm not quite sure. Touch or Kiss, close. All about the topic of regenerative agriculture. And the idea is right along the lines you're talking about, where there are techniques to encourage the plants and agriculture to actually sequester carbon. And the movie and a lot of part of the new agriculture movement is really hot on this idea that done in these new innovative ways, or actually their old ways brought back again, of course, that agriculture can actually help draw down carbon from the atmosphere. The science is really unsettled on that. And the main thing that is kind of not debatable is that in terms of the food sector and agriculture, the biggest factor in the contribution to global warming and environmental impact is food waste. A quarter to a third of the food that's grown in the United States is either wasted in the production, it's left on the fields because of all kinds of various factors of harvest time and delivery and markets and all those kind of things. And a huge amount of it is wasted at the table, most in homes where people buy more than they need or throw stuff away that the kids won't eat or whatever. And that food waste in total adds a lot of production costs, refrigeration costs, transportation costs. And so in terms of the agriculture sector and the food system sector, food waste is really what needs to be addressed. The whole question of how food is grown, the impact of animals, you're right. It's a controversial area because the science isn't settled. In general, I think we're going to see a movement away from animal-based foods and more towards plant-based foods, simply because it's much more efficient in so many ways. But that's a market-driven thing. One example of this, excuse me?
Oh, I think that your comment there could be challenged. Animal agriculture is a huge part of the carbon cycle, and they consume vast quantities of plant life that have no alternative use that further encourages that plant life to grow. So I think
that's true.
The science may be unsettled, but I think it will be shown in the future. I think we all know that the problem is fossil fuels, and everything else is quite minor compared to the fossil fuel issue. Anyway, I've said enough, but thank you for your presentation.
One place where you can get a lot of great information about this whole global warming thing, it's called Project Drawdown. It's a really incredible, highly researched source for all the different areas we're talking about. And in terms of food and agriculture cycles and the different approaches to the food cycle, try REFED, R-E-F-E-D. That's also a really incredible, highly researched, data-based approach to this whole question.
Hey, Andy, and getting back to Rotary, where as members should we go to look on the RI site for the area of focus on environment? Where can Rotarians turn to through the Rotary world to see what's being done?
I think it's just if you Google Rotary environment policy, you'll get all you need. It's right there. And then also SRAG, ESRAG. That's really the SRAG action group has been around for 7 years, and the people and the network in that were really instrumental in motivating Rotary International to declare the new area of focus. And I'd be glad to share with you, I'll send to Simon, plans and updates on our Tiny Garden project. It's really great. The people respond super quickly. There's also a pollinator project that's kid-based, really fun. A lot of online tools to get kids out and engaged in planting gardens for pollinators. And yeah, the projects that can start local, reach out into the community, and then be networked to make these networks of caring is what I call them. Caring for the people and the places in the planet. And that sense of common care, we're all going to need that because the changes are going to come fast and heavy in the next 100 years. And Rotary has the momentum and the legs to carry us forward with a good spirit of heart of caring for each other.
Andy, one thing that you haven't touched on directly anyway, that is probably my #1 concern at this time, locally as well as globally, and that is water. And water conservation and water pollution, those two things are going to be imposing in our, maybe I'm an old guard, but some of the younger folks here in your lifetimes, serious compromise. Heather, on your 18-year-old, they're going to be facing this in terms of both quantity and quality of water. It should be our main focus in my mind.
I think that's exactly right. And of course, there's a Water and Sanitation Rotary Action Group, WASRAG. That's Salvador Rico from South Ukiah. He was instrumental in that group. And WASRAG, again, was one element in the whole environmental movement within Rotary. Water has always been a big factor with international projects, with installing wells and such. And locally, the rivers and streams and watersheds are super important. Luckily, the North Coast here is in kind of what an expert from the Forest Service shared at Planet Humboldt. We're in what he's calling a climate refuge because of the Alaskan currents and the way our rivers flow through our area. Our water and our environment is going to be a lot more stable than many places in the world. So we're lucky for Humboldt.
It's not all that healthy, Andy.
What was that?
Well, it's not all that healthy. We could have a chat about it, but I think we're out of time.
Well, there's a lot of problems with groundwater and you know, the impact of humans on the watershed and the health of the water.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Andy, for coming and speaking with our group today. Really appreciate it.
And thank you for sharing your ideas and your connections. I'm glad to know more and more about what's the Fortuna Club's going and doing. And you've inspired me to pursue the network and keep your eye on updates from me, because we're focusing on sharing all the things that your club and all the clubs in the district have done and are planning on doing. We're going to have an online event to share all those things on Earth Day on April 22nd. So look forward to that day.
Sounds great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we're getting towards the end. Thanks so much. We're going to do our drawing and then we'll part ways, get you out of here. So going into the reused recycled mayonnaise container. The ball drawing. First, it'll be a ticket with somebody's name. And looks like it is Heck Wood this morning. Heck, you could win untold fortunes.
$55.
Or $55.
Or potentially millions.
What was that?
Potentially millions.
Potentially millions.
Heavy on the
truth. It's the truth. Okay, here's the ball. It's the Craft Talk ball.
Drum roll. Craft Talk.
Craft Talker, $25. What would you like to do there?
Huh.
Craft Talk,
Craft Talk.
Craft Talk. Everybody wants a Heckwood Craft Talk.
You want to know what you do.
I'm hearing a pretty strong voice about paying $25. I think that's
Wait, how about this? How about this?
Hey,
Will somebody, I'll let somebody trump Heck here. If somebody paid Jack's $25 fine, then he's got to do the Craft Talk. How about that? Anybody?
He also got a new RV.
How many tires?
Oh my goodness.
Dude, Kurt and I have a competition as to whose is bigger. I mean, I only have 4 tires and a spare. Kurt's got 6 tires and a spare.
We're not comparing RV size here, Heck, okay? Wow.
Yours is bigger than his.
Not out loud.
Mine and Craft Talk.
And so is anybody in taking me up on that offer right there? 25?
I think he should pay 25 for his motor home and give a Craft Talk as well, man.
I'll second that.
Ooh. Okay.
Well said.
The full Monty.
Heck, it sounds like Sounds like the people on Survivor Island have spoken. I think you got hit hard this morning.
Maybe he can drive it down
So hey,
Main Street.
I'll even give you a little freedom. You could do a craft talk or maybe something. You did a really fantastic, what was it, sub-presidency. I remember during Frank's year where you had me put on some shades and play the inauguration music. I don't know if you remember that. It was a lot of fun. Maybe if you don't want to do a craft talk per se, maybe you could do some kind of fun. I'll work with you on it. Some kind of Heckwood section or something like that.
Just remember, Bob Judavine has yet to be debunked.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Minding my own business over here, people.
We've got 2 buses we can throw him under.
This seems like the meeting of throwing people under the bus. How's it feel down there, everybody? Well, speaking of the bus, I have to go teach at school here momentarily. So I think I'm going to call this meeting over. Thank you so very much. I appreciate all you club members making it out. Thank you, Andy, for visiting us again.
Thanks, Andy.
And collaborating and educating us about the environment. Have a wonderful Rotary Day, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Cheers. Cheers. Well done.
Thank you.
Bye.